Hi, this is Sleepless guys, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the lead sound from this track, and it sounds like this. So what you can hear is Venus Rising. It's a track I made and released on Jee Productions a few months ago. It's got this really cool, nice, sort of really uplifting lead synth sound in it. So I'm going to show you how I put that together and how I made it. Let's dive into the project. So let's see what went into this. Okay, so this is the lead is made up of two parts, which are then processed together. And this is quite common for the way I work. I'll quite often have different layers and process things in groups. So the main lead is this one here. We've got a little bit of randomness to just adjust I think that's just a preset called Add Some Random, which is just one of the to adjust the kind of velocity that the notes are being played at. Then we have Diva. So this is just a patch actually, and I will hand full credit to Bound to Divide. This is one of Bound to Divide's patches. It comes from his Visions melodic house pack. It is called, fittingly enough, PL Basic. This is what it sounds like with no processing. And then we'll put the processing back on. You can hear the difference. So it's a cool patch to begin with. It's nice. It's got a real kind of nice tone, something really good to work with. But we want to add all of this drama and space and energy, okay? So how are we going to do that, right? So we're going to first of all add, what I've added here is this vocoder. You don't have to do this, but I added a vocoder and then fed in some of the pad chords that are also going on down here in this track. So there's a bunch of pads here. And I fed these into the synth, into that lead, into a vocoder. And you can hear, when I switch it on and off, you'll hear the difference. It's just adding a bit of like tonal richness. And you can do this if you find that the synth sound you're working with is a little thin and you just want to add some like depth and richness. The other way to do that is also through saturation. So I've just popped a bit of Ableton Saturator on here, literally the kind of stock settings. I think it's the soft sine settings, adding 3 dB, making sure I'm knocking it off at the end as well. So I'm not just adding volume, I'm actually adding color. And then I've added the one of my favorite plugins, OTT. There is an Ableton version of this as well, but I like the interface of this one from Xfer. This is free from Xfer. And I'm just adding some depth there, 39% depth. Not touching anything else, just adding 39% depth. So you can hear with, let's get rid of Diva and just have, so. You can see it's just more muted. OTT just really brings out the kind of accents. You've got to be careful with it because you can overdo it, but it brings out the accents of the notes. And then I've got a EQ just to tidy it up. You can hear I'm knocking off the bottom end. I'm adding a little bit of an accent here around 5K just to bring out the top. So that is all I'm doing on the sound itself. The next thing I've got here is a reverse stab. So what I've done is I've recorded like one of these, just one of those notes with a load of reverb on it, and I have now reversed it and added it here. So that's a really cool trick you could do just to bring some drama in, like make it feel like it's really like the note is kind of coming from somewhere, like it's got some movement. Sounds really cool. And actually, let's just play the track quickly. You'll hear. So you can see that it just kind of allows that transition to happen a bit more gradually. All right, cool. So that's all that's going in there. into the sound itself. So then we've got the processing at a group level, because I want to process these two parts the same. You see, I want them to have the same processing. So stick them in the group. I've got another EQ just to make sure that whatever's going in is really nicely controlled, mainly just taking off some bottom end. Then I have this, which is Soundtoys Effect Rack. Honestly, do try and get hold of this. You can get this on kind of Black Friday deals and things like that for like £130 usually, or 150 quid. It is amazing. It's all of Soundtoys stuff in one rack, or like most of it anyway. The bit I like to use a lot is Decapitator. So when I'm setting up Decapitator, first of all, tend to just dial in the one I just flick around with these to see which one I like. I mean, that you can hear they're just kind of like different tonal qualities. So where's the so they've all got a slightly different tone to them. And then I'm not doing a lot of drive. I've just got the drive to 2, and I've got the mix right down as well. Decapitator is really powerful. I could add a lot here. I could, it would change the whole sound. But it's not the effect I want. What I'm looking for here is just another bit of gentle color, just to add on top of that saturation. So you see, I quite often use like lots of saturators with just a little bit of color on each, and you get all these kind of little shades of color in the sound as a result. It fills out the sound space really nicely. So that's a really nice thing to do. Just watch your output as well. Make sure you're not adding too much volume. And then crystallizer. So this is one of my like all-time favorite tricks to do with crystallizer. This is so simple. So if you haven't used crystallizer before, it's a kind of wacky plugin that kind of makes all sorts of crazy noises. But one of the things it does this kind of cool reverse thing. So this is what crystallizer sounds like. Right? Makes all these crazy sounds, which are really cool, by the way. Not what I want in this track, though. So what I've done is I've dragged crystallizer in, not added any presets, literally just dialed the dry knob down, and it just adds this kind of reverse, like on the in your kind of stereo field, this like reverse effect. It's really cool. I use this on a lot of synths. You don't need a lot of it. I mean, even less than that. I think that's about right about there, yeah. You don't need a lot. It's great, though. It makes everything sound a bit more interesting. So that's next. Then we have a filter, because we've got some automation going on. Just kind of throughout this, we're seeing like see just for different parts of the track, we wanted to automate that. Then we've got this thing here, which is my effects channel. So this is dry wet effects. It's a dry wet knob from Axis, but I mean, you can set it's easy to set these up, right? I've just used this for speed, but you can easily set this up. So basically what this is, we've got dry signal going through. So we're stacking these chains. You can create more chains here just by creating a chain. Just get rid of that. So you've got the dry signal. That's just with no processing on it. Let's hear that. Then we've got a wet signal. This has got reverb on it. And so there's reverb, plus we're side chaining the signal to itself. So this is a side chain. It's coming in from the lead. And what that means is that every time the lead note hits, it's getting the reverb out of the way. And then when it stops playing, the reverb's coming in. So you're getting this kind of gated style effect. So you're getting a sense of space without it interrupting the lead melody. And then I've also added a little delay there as well, just for some extra delay. And this is also, because this delay is automated, so it's actually giving us some space when we want it. So this is actually, I'm using this to create a sense of space. And what you can do here, because you've got all these channels running in parallel, you can then adjust the volumes. You can dial them into taste. You can decide how much you want of each. You can add a bit more reverb, a bit down. It's all there. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't get messy. I would really recommend doing this, using this kind of these chains, these different chains to do reverb and delays, and then you can do this side chaining thing, which really helps to clean up your mix. Right, so after that, what have we got? We've got a bit of soothe, just to take away some harshness. Yeah, there's a bit of harshness in this because we've had a lot of saturation and whatnot, so just softens it. And then finally, we've got Kickstart on, which is a sidechain plugin. I mean, you can use Duck, you can use the sidechain that comes in Ableton's compressor. This is just it's really easy, simple to use. So I set this up this way, and it's just sidechained off the kick. And then we finally got a little bit of compression at the end to keep it all under control, taking a few dB off. And then we've got a limiter going, which is adding some volume and a ceiling. It's cutting it right off. So what you can see now is that when it's coming into this, it is going to peak here at 12. Well, actually, sorry, here. It's peaking at minus 21. And I've adjusted the gain. So we've got a combination of the ceiling of here and then the gain. So what I've done there is I've fed in the signals and just reduced the ceiling down to the point at which you can see it's clipping. And it's just going to hit that ceiling. And then this I've adjusted during the mixing process. So it's been mixed with all the other elements. So it sits in the mix nicely. So that is what goes into the lead sound from Venus Rising. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.